Have you ever taken a math class without any tests or a final exam? Well, here at Biola, our quantitative reasoning classes are just that. We focus on a final project where you can use everything that you've learned from this semester and apply it to something that you're passionate about. My name is Chelsea Bally, and I'm the director of our quantitative reasoning program and an instructor of some of our courses. We should probably start with, what is quantitative reasoning? Well, quantitative reasoning is using the math that you already know to better understand the world around you. So let's hear from some of our students and their experience in some of our quantitative reasoning classes.
Math has never been my strongest suit, and looking back on my just high school academic career, it was something that I definitely struggled with. But my senior year, I took an agricultural class that included math, and I was able to see it in a more positive, practical light. And so coming to college, I wasn't super excited, I'll be honest, about taking a math class. But when I got into the math class, I realized that it was a lot more practical in terms of real-world situations and problems.
When I figured out that I was taking a math class, I was kind of a little bit upset because I was like, I didn't know I was going to be taking math in college. And so I am an art and film major, so my brain's more artistically oriented, if that makes sense. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to understand it because math was always my weakest subject and I always struggled a lot with it. So I was scared coming into college where I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult.
It felt like a math class, but it felt more than just a math class, you know what I mean? It was super cool because it helped me dive deeper into what I'm passionate about. You know, that's one reason, I feel like those are one of the reasons why I added physics as another major of mine, because I wasn't afraid of math anymore.
I actually ended up getting a lot more out of the class than I thought I was going to. I ended up learning a lot of very valuable information in math that I think I'm going to end up using in my field. The class was super interactive, so I was able to talk amongst other students that had very similar majors as me. There was music majors and journalism majors and English majors, so it seemed like it was a lot of like-minded kids.
I think looking at population growth was really interesting for me because I'm a farm kid. A lot of concern that I have going into the future is how we're going to feed a world that doesn't have that many producers in it.
The funny thing was I was taking music theory and psych singing and dictation alongside taking this math class. So it was super cool to see, to learn music theory, but to learn math at the same time. Yeah. Because you realize that there's a lot of numbers in music. Counterpoint, there's 2-to-1 ratio, species counterpoint, which is weird, and we were learning about ratios at the same time. Wow. So it was just super cool to see how numbers just go into it as well.
As a filmmaker and an artist, you have to learn how to get the calculations together to look at budgets and revenue growth and dimensions especially. So we learned math and QR that was really applicable to all of those things.
Also just some of the natural disaster too was really interesting. I'd never really been able to connect math to the things that we see on the news or the things that affect us.
Reading that introduction about kind of math stemming from Aristotle and kind of from a biblical perspective, it made me look at math in a completely different way and kind of see it as something that's beautiful, that's created by God, and not just something that's super hard that I can never do.
To constantly point back to like, wow, like God really is the creator of all knowledge, of all truth, all knowledge and truth, and all math even belongs to him, no matter how people are using that in the world. And so I think definitely gave me a new appreciation, and I can look just even throughout the Bible and looking at whether it's generational numbers or determining how old the earth is, math is really important even to God, even though I probably wouldn't have like wanted to admit that earlier.
We had to connect math and QR with our end of the year assignment or end of the semester assignments, and just really try to dive deeper into what we're passionate about and connecting QR to that. That was super cool.
In the cattle industry, there are numbers that are calculated every single year concerning which breed of cattle are being produced, and those numbers are called estimated progeny difference. And so basically they're used so a consumer can get better meat, whether it's steak, ribeye, whatever. So I looked at those numbers over the period, I think I went back to about 2 or 3 decades and seeing, and looking at how the cattle industry has changed.
Yeah.
And so looked at all those numbers and just compared a lot of things.
A lot of times when I was telling my friends, I was like, oh yeah, I'm working on my math project. They were like, math project? Why do you have a math project? I was like, oh no, yeah, it's about the sea turtles and plastic and then applying math to that with like exponential growth and linear decay, is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah.
And linear decay. And so yeah, it was a way that I could kind of all the math that we had learned in the first semester and applying it to a real issue that I care about and also got to learn more about.
I would want to dispense the worry about that and explain that it's, yes, a really fancy combination of words, but something that behind it is something really, really practical.
I would just say go in kind of being positive-minded about it and really just ready to learn and not judging the class by it being labeled as a math class, because while it is, I feel like it's much more than that because it is about kind of the natural sciences and everything. Yeah. So really going in with an open mind, being ready to learn.
It was just super cool because not only do you understand just a little bit more about math, you understand a little bit more about yourself. It's nothing to be afraid of, and it's something that you should really take into heart because it's a good class, and you'll get a lot out of it. It's a new program, and it'll be lit.